The African bush holds many secrets. It is a land of beauty. It is also a land of harsh reality. Here, life and death dance a constant ballet. In the Sabi sands, a legend was born. This legend was about a group of lions. They were no ordinary lions. They were the Mapogo Coalition. Their name whispered of power. Their name spoke of fear. They changed the Sabi sands forever. These lions were brothers, a band of 6. They arrived like a storm. They were big, they were bold, they were brutal. Other lions had never seen anything like them. Coalitions of 2 or 3 males were common. But 6, this was new. This was terrifying. They did not just conquer territory. They annihilated their rivals. They rewrote the rules of lion society. Their story is etched in the very landscape. Their reign was long, it spanned many years. They controlled vast areas of land. Prides of lionesses fell under their dominion. Cubs were sired, bearing their mighty genes. But their rule was not peaceful. It was built on conflict. It was maintained through sheer force. The Mapogo Lions became a phenomenon. The journey of the Mapogo began in the airfield Pride. This pride was also known as the Sparta Pride. Here an unusual event occurred. 5 male cubs were born. They were born around the same time. They all survived. This was rare. Male cubs faced many dangers. To have so many reach adolescence together was special. These 5 were Makulu, the eldest, then came Rasta, Dreadlocks, Pretty Boy, and Kinky Tail. They grew up together. They learned together. They formed a bond. This bond was the foundation of their future power. As young males, they played. Their play was practice for future battles. They stalked, they wrestled, they tested their strength. Makulu, being older, often guided them. He was larger, he was calmer. The younger brothers were more boisterous, but they looked to him. They knew he was strong. This early brotherhood was crucial for their survival when they eventually left their birth pride. Later, a 6th member joined them. He was younger, he came from a different lineage, his name was Mr. T. Some called him Satan. He was exceptionally aggressive, he was fearless. His ferocity would become a key element of the Mapogo's fearsome reputation. The original 5 accepted him. Perhaps they saw his strength, perhaps they knew numbers mattered. Together they became 6. A formidable force was gathering. Makulu was the cornerstone of the Mapogo. He was not the most flamboyant, he was not the most aggressive. That title often went to Mr. T, but Makulu possessed a different kind of strength. He was the largest of the brothers. His sheer size was intimidating. He had a calm, imposing presence. While others were quick to fight, Makulu often observed, he was the steady hand. He was the elder statesman of this powerful group. His influence was undeniable. Leadership in a lion coalition is complex. It is not always a single dominant king. It is often a shared responsibility. Different males might take the lead in different situations. Makulu's leadership was rooted in his age, it was rooted in his experience, and it was rooted in his physical power. The other brothers respected him, they deferred to his quiet authority. He was the one who held them together. He was the glue in this band of warriors. As the Mapogo began their conquest, Makulu's role became clear. He was often at the forefront of their territorial patrols. His deep roars would echo through the Sabi sands. These roars announced their presence. They warned off intruders. While Mr. T might charge into a fight, Makulu provided the backup. He provided the unwavering support. The Mapogo Coalition did not gently ask for territory. They took it. They stormed into the northern Sabi sands. This area was already occupied by other male lions. These resident males had prides. They had cubs. They thought they were secure. They were wrong. The arrival of 6 large determined males was a shock. The existing order was about to be shattered. The Mapogo were not there to share. They were there to conquer. Their ambition was vast. Their strategy was terrifyingly simple. It was overwhelming force. Most lion coalitions consist of 2 or 3 males. They might challenge a similar-sized group, but the Mapogo were 6 strong. They could take on multiple enemies at once. They moved with a brutal efficiency. They sought out rival males. They engaged them in savage battles. Few could withstand their combined might. The fights were often short. They were always decisive. The Mapogo showed no mercy. A dark part of their strategy involved infanticide. When male lions take over a pride, they often kill the existing cubs. This brings the lionesses back into estrus more quickly. The new males can then sire their own offspring. The Mapogo took this to an extreme. They were ruthless in eliminating the cubs of their rivals. The reign of the Mapogo was marked by intense conflict. Many battles were fought and many rivals were vanquished. One of their early significant conquests involved the Sparta Pride. This was the pride where some of them were born. Now, they returned as conquerors. The resident males stood little chance. The Mapogo, united and strong, swept them aside. The lionesses had no choice but to accept their new rulers. Makulu and his brothers had come full circle, but as kings. The ferocity of the Mapogo in battle was legendary. Mr. T was often the first into the fray. His aggression was shocking. He would bite, he would claw, and he would not stop until the opponent was subdued or dead. Kinky Tail was also a formidable fighter. Pretty Boy and Dreadlocks added their strength. Rasta, though less dominant, played his part. And Makulu was the immense power in reserve. His presence alone could break an opponent's will. He was the ultimate enforcer. These victories had a profound impact. It was not just about gaining territory, it was about psychological warfare. The Mapogo established an aura of invincibility. Other male lions learned that challenging them was suicidal. Once the Mapogo established their dominance, a new order settled over their territory. The initial period of violent takeovers was brutal. Many cubs were lost. Many rival males were killed or driven out. But after the dust settled, life for the prides under Mapogo rule found a certain stability. The lionesses, having accepted the new males, began to raise Mapogo cubs. A new generation was dawning under their protection. This was the Mapogo dynasty. For the lionesses and their new cubs, Mapogo rule brought benefits. With such a strong coalition in charge, threats from outside males were greatly reduced. The 6 brothers were a formidable shield. They patrolled their borders tirelessly. They swiftly dealt with any intruders. This meant the lionesses could raise their cubs with greater security. More cubs survived to adolescence. The prides under Mapogo protection flourished. Food was also plentiful in their vast domain. Makulu played a crucial role during this period of dominance. He was often seen with the prides. Years passed. The seasons turned in the Sabi sands. The Mapogo lions grew older. They were still powerful. They were still feared. But the relentless march of time waits for no one, not even for lion kings. Younger, stronger lions were maturing in faraway lands. New coalitions were forming. The bush always has new challengers waiting in the wings. The Mapogo had ruled for a long time. Their reign was exceptional, but no reign lasts forever. The strain of maintaining such a vast empire began to show. Patrolling huge territories is exhausting. Constant vigilance is draining. The brothers were not as young as they once were. Injuries sustained in past battles might have started to ache. Perhaps subtle shifts occurred within their own dynamics. The bonds of brotherhood, though strong, could be tested by time and pressure. The first cracks in their seemingly impenetrable armor began to appear, unseen by most. Then, the challenges started. New coalitions of younger males began to probe the Mapogo borders. At first, these were minor skirmishes. The Mapogo, with their experience and reputation, easily repelled them. But the challengers were persistent. They were hungry for territory. They were hungry for power. The Majingalani coalition was relentless. They were younger, faster, and full of ambition. The inevitable clashes with the aging Mapogo began. These were not minor skirmishes. These were brutal, drawn-out battles for supremacy. The Sabi sands became a war zone once more. The lions fought with incredible ferocity. The Mapogo, despite their age, fought to defend their legacy. They fought for their prides. They fought for their very lives. They would not give up easily. One by one, the Mapogo numbers dwindled. The battles took their toll. The most famous and tragic loss was that of Mr. T. He was perhaps the most feared of all the Mapogo. He was cornered by the Majingalani. Outnumbered, he fought with astonishing bravery. He fought until he could fight no more. His death was a massive blow to the coalition. It signaled a turning point. The Mapogo's dominance was truly breaking. The remaining brothers were now vulnerable. Makulu, the old patriarch, witnessed this decline. He was older now. He was perhaps less involved in the frontline fighting than in his youth, but he was still a Mapogo. Makulu, the great patriarch, outlived most of his brothers. His longevity was extraordinary. Survival is a daily struggle. His life was a testament to his strength, and perhaps his wisdom. He had seen the rise, he had seen the fall. He carried the history of the Mapogo. Their legacy is profound. They changed how we understand lion behavior. They showed the power of a coordinated brotherhood. They secured their bloodline. Their reign was a masterclass in power. The Sabi Sand still echoes with their story. Researchers and guides still speak of them with awe. They became legends. From the Mapogo, we learned about lion society. We saw fierce cooperation. We saw ruthless conflict. Only the strongest survive. Only the strongest pass on their genes. The Mapogo were the strongest. They sired many cubs. Their genes are still present. Makulu lived out his final days in solitude. He was an old lion.